Stop.
Oh.
Get a rest stop over there.
I have another pack over here. Is there?
Any more candy? There's plenty.
And did Oh. Okay, so what I want you to do is very quickly pick one of the shapes. So it's diamond, star, circle, square, triangle, or informatics. And now what we're looking at is our nurse anesthesiology program, right? So you know the nurse anesthesiologist is often the actual person who administers your anesthesia, right? So this is a very critical role. So we're going to listen to how our curriculum is mapped based on the quality improvement in nursing initiative. And we're going to play the same game. So when your symbol is played, so the symbols go are this way. Okay, so you ready?
No, but who's going to do what symbols?
How do we know?
Oh, make your own symbol. Make your symbol. So you just make a symbol really quickly. Just you pick a square, square.
Do we pick one of the categories?
Exactly. You pick one of the categories, which is patient-centered care, which is a diamond shape, teamwork and collaboration, which is a star, evidence-based practice is a circle, quality improvement is a square, safety is triangle, and informatics is this shape, which I forgot the name of. Somebody knows the name of it. Hexagon. Polygon. They don't have to be perfect. It's just a quick shape. And if you haven't gotten your shape together yet, then just imagine it's that shape. Okay. So now we're going to look at this program. And that silence is it's waiting for all of these empty spaces to play. So silence means not aligned. Oh, okay. Here, I'll make it bigger. Let me start.
It's doing this one right here.
Here, okay. So, here, you can't see it? Okay, wait, let me make it bigger for you.
Okay, and I'll point.
Oh, no, Kenan.
No, okay, I won't point.
Okay, here we go.
Call it out.
So anything jump out at you of like what you notice about this curriculum?
Teamwork really is bad.
Teamwork is really bad.
At the end, when there's a problem, they start calling in the team.
Right? Teamwork is really bad.
We have a bunch of stars in this room.
A bunch of stars in this room. Yeah, exactly. So, look at who did the polygon, the hexagon. So the one with the hexagon, only one learning outcome in our curriculum has to do with informatics, right? How many people here think that anesthesiologists should, in fact, be pretty crackerjack with? Okay, so anyway, what this allowed was this kind of deep conversation in large groups where, so for instance, when I presented to the faculty of nursing, about 50 people attended the faculty meeting for the School of Nursing. Before me, they had a policy vote in which a room full of people about this size, only 7 people bothered to vote on the policy change. And then I got up and we had we had everyone participate in looking at their curriculum and discussing what they wanted changed. And at the end I said, so how many people thought this was valuable? And all but 7 people raised their hand. And so I figured, okay, that's a big improvement. At least we got people engaged in the conversation about what do we want our values to be What are we teaching? What we say we're teaching. And then what has happened also with this is that, I want to show you one more thing that we've done. So one of the things that's happened is that we've really ended up transforming the whole institution, because when you start by looking at authentic evidence of student learning and just get away from just looking at test scores, it invites this whole emphasis on teaching and learning. And so after we initiated this way of evaluating student learning, we also adopted a policy where faculty is now evaluated based on their teaching and learning and how well they're meeting the course learning outcomes. Which for higher ed, I mean, that sounds like duh, but for higher ed, it's quite unusual. And they've also engaged in peer review of teaching and learning, and so that not as a punitive or for rank and promotion, but actually for staff development. And so people are beginning to share resources.
Are you using student evaluations of professors and teachers?
We do use that. But we felt like that was a very very limited measure, because oftentimes, there's lots of correlations, like teachers who give better grades get better evaluations, and teachers who are African American across the board get lower scores. And we figured it couldn't be that all of our African American teachers were subpar. There was a lot of things that were bias was coming into it, and so we're looking at teaching and learning as not yes, the students' enjoyment is always important, but it's not the only factor, because you're perceived, and I look at my own learning experience, 5 years later, I'm like, oh, now I see why that professor spent so much time on what I didn't think was important then. So this is a way of really measuring the effectiveness of the teacher in mastering the outcomes, and it's sort of at the heart of competency-based education. But so we changed that policy. We also changed our research policy so that faculty it's considered research when you engage in reflective practice about your teaching and learning. So not only rewarding teachers for research in their field, but also reflecting on their teaching and learning.
Did you have a meta-level discussion on what the purpose of education is? Because all of this depends on what you view the purpose of education to be. If you view the purpose of education to be to create a compliant individual, then you will have a certain set of colors there. If you view the purpose of education to be different, maybe to create more critical thinking, it's different. All bearing in mind that we are a product of our education.
Well, we did have that very limited discussion, because our institution is really a training institute preparing people for the allied health fields mostly. And so, we do have a doctorate of podiatry, but it's very applied and it's very highly regulated. So we do have those, but it's very limited in scope. And accreditation is, for an institution like ours, accreditation is like profit is to a business, that it's the bottom line that we are compliant with the standards that are imposed on us. And we have a little wiggle room. We can add our own flavor, but like, for instance, compassion is not one of the standards in the healthcare and the nursing, yet we add that as our flavor. Yeah.
So Valerie, just to be clear, besides student evaluation of teaching, could you explain just what are the other criteria for educational outcomes?
I don't know what you mean.
You said teachers are judged or evaluated on the effectiveness of their teaching. What are the criteria for that?
Well, the criteria is, so this is really a qualitative view. So the criteria is we look at the learning outcomes and we look at the evidence and we say, are your students demonstrating these outcomes? So it's.
And what kind of evidence?
The evidence could be a paper, it could be a videotape, it could be a clinical evaluation, it could be a PowerPoint presentation that the students made.
And who decides?
The faculty.
So they do it for themselves? They decide for themselves?
So first what we do is at the first level, yes, the first level we say make a portfolio of excellence of student learning. So when you get something that is excellent from a student, document it here as part of our institutional portfolio. And then we triangulate and we say, if this is what excellence looks like and it's great, then we can extrapolate what a B or a C might look like. But if what you're putting as evidence is what I consider to be crappy, imagine what their B and C work looks like. And so we've had, we've made this transparent. So instead of having everything be secret within the classroom, we're making a transparent portfolio. And in fact, you can see in this page, we have our entire school curriculum on one page, and any faculty can go in and look at any other thing and say, oh, here's your learning outcome. And we also have this, the faculty can also post their assignments. I'm not going to make you look at it. They can they can post their assignments and their rubrics, and other faculty can then use that or adapt that for their course.
So you're giving them a whole lot of homework. Are they doing it? And are they also starting to teamwork on it?
They're just starting to, and one of the things, this has really helped because we opened up the whole faculty, the whole school, because before everything was these, siloed. And so one school had no idea what another school was doing. And so this has helped beginning that practice. We're calling it interprofessional collaboration. And so and then simultaneously we have mini grants where we give faculty really small amounts of money to write up what they're doing using innovative practices in teaching and learning, and then sharing it with colleagues. And we've gotten the first year out, we got 20% of the faculty to engage. And so then now this year, we're hoping to get 30% to engage.
How is the mini grant an incentive? Does it replace teaching time, or is it just?
No, we give them cash. We give them $500 for engaging in an action research project where they try something new in their classroom, and then they document what were the barriers, what were the benefits, and then they have to document it with evidence of student learning in some way. And some of them choose anecdotal evidence, this is the student said, or they'll look at, they also will often look at the grade scores because we're very test driven. So they'll look at the test scores, and they'll also look at, discussion board quality, things like that. So all kinds of different measures.